Hello and welcome to a Taylor's Tales podcast. This is Chris's Corner. I'm your host, Chris Taylor, and welcome back to a brand new episode. It's episode 100, people. This is it. It's been 100 episodes of the Taylor's Tales podcast. Chris's Corner has been here for this long. This episode's a real special one. It's between me and one of my closest friends of all time, George Taylor. We talk about a range of things, going from lizard people in operating within the American government, to nostalgia, childhood nostalgia, to the minimalism trend of, wearing what's fit for you, and then also talking about mental health and the ability to quit alcohol and focus on becoming a better person at the end of the podcast. And I think gives a real positive message overall. Episode 100 to me means a lot. I've been doing this now for a couple of years and it's been truly an enjoyable process, but also something that I will continue to do. I imagine for the rest of my life, because it's helped me in many ways in terms of being able to express myself verbally, as well as understand how to do research, editing, all of these little things that you don't really realize that you have to do when you're working within an environment that you've never been in before, and working for yourself and doing all these little things. So thank you, the listener, for being here for that long, and welcome to episode 100 of the Taylor's Tales podcast. So let's get into it. I was saying to my dad the other day that you should play life the same way you play a video game, and you should get badges for certain things that you've accomplished. So like, if for instance, in Fallout 3, and you'd get like charismatic points, you'd get points for being a lock picker, points for like being really gun-ho, and then you could, because you chose so many points for charisma or for intelligence, you'd get like, you'd be unable to talk to people, or you'd be so stupid you wouldn't be able to come up with a good answer. Like it would have to even out somewhere. I would love that in real life.
That would be pretty awesome. So you pretty much want your life to be like Fallout.
Not in real, not like the post-apocalyptic side of things. No. Can you imagine?
If I was in any sort of video game, it wouldn't be Call of Duty for a start. I'd probably say like something like, I would say like GTA, because it's more free, isn't it? It's like life anyway, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
But except for you can't go around with guns and shoot people. So it'd be cool to like. Have you played No Man's Sky?
See, I haven't played it because I got told originally it was not worth playing, but maybe I'll give it a go.
It's all right. It's all right. It just depends on what sort of like RPG games you play. If you're one like, if you like Assassin's Creed and you like doing like all the side missions and stuff, it's quite a good game to go out and explore. There's not really like a time scale where you have to, you have to see the game the whole way through in just like one day. You can go out and do like different things, and a bit like have you ever played Elden Scrolls?
Yeah.
No,
Skyrim.
sorry, Elden Scrolls, Elden Ring.
Oh, Elden Ring. Sorry, yeah, no, I haven't played that. No.
Oh mate, I'm really surprised you haven't played that, because that's actually really good. It's got I think it's got like visuals, and I think who's the guy from Game of Thrones? The writer.
Oh, George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, I think he had something to do with the development of the game and all the visuals and stuff. So yeah, it's quite a good game actually. But it's
very
hard.
Nice.
It's like the what's that game? Is it Oblivion? That's like almost impossible to play, or like almost impossible to complete.
So you're thinking of what's it called? I've played the third one. It's like God, it's with those massive monsters that are literally just like impossible to destroy. Damn.
Yeah.
Dark Souls.
I thought Dark Souls, that's it, yeah. Dark Souls, yeah, you know your games. Yeah, Dark Souls, it's very similar to that, man. But it is good. It is good. It just takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
And like the leveling
and I've heard so many reactions of people going, "What the hell is this? What am I fighting right now?"
Like seriously, there were like the monsters and stuff in there. It was just like there was a tree that was like kind of like a round table sort of thing with like 4 legs, and it was like part stone and part tree. It looked really cool, but again, I think it's one of those things that you have to do a lot of stuff to then come back and defeat that certain boss. So it's not as if you're like a level 1 and you think you can go and you can go and fight this like level 50 monster with like just a bronze longsword or something like that. You have to like do all these side missions to kind of complete and make your armory like better. So it's
Dude,
definitely like an RPG.
I'll take your recommendation because you're known for good recommendations for video games all the way back from like 2003 all the way onwards, basically. So I will go play that. Because do you remember you gave it was you who got me into Call of Duty. It was you who got me into partly into I think Harry Potter, into like all of the video games from the early days. So you have a history of high scoring video games from day one, basically. So good on you for there, man.
I think I prefer the sort of level up games, like the ranked play games, rather than the RPG games, because I just find that, you know, things like Assassin's Creed, like the maps are huge, and like GTA as well. And when you've got like so much to do, and you've got like, you kind of want to go off and do your own thing, it's hard to kind of keep that balance. But I enjoy all those sort of RPG games. But I'm definitely level up, rank up play and stuff. But yeah, give Elder Scrolls. I keep saying Elder Scrolls. Elden Rings a try.
Elder Rings a try. Yeah, I will. I'm planning on getting in, I think either September. Yeah, well, September. Let's say September, the Xbox Series X, so that I can join the crew.
Still not got that yet?
No, purely because I'm saving money at the moment. But when I have my own apartment, I'm planning on getting a projector for it so that I can plaster it on the wall.
Nice. You're gonna have enough room for a projector though. My uncle's got a projector. And he says it's really good, and he's got like a built-in surround sound system. And mate, we watched Star Wars about 2 years ago, the last time we were up there, and it was amazing. But I think you've kind of got to have like the light. You've got to make sure that you haven't got as much light, because the projector is like, you know, what we use to school and stuff. Like it's very quite dark, so you need to make sure that you've got the lighting in the room and stuff for that. But when are you moving again?
Well, I have to now because of the new job. It'll be September the 1st, so I have to find a new place for then. So yeah, pretty quick.
You've got such a busy summer, man. How are you gonna like? Wow.
Don't even get me started.
I'm surprised you've even got time for this, man.
I make time, man. I make time. Like there's things I prioritize. So I prioritize friends. So talking to you, I like if you told me like, Chris, I need you here at this time, I'll be like, I'm there. Like I'll cancel plans for stuff like for my friends, my close friends, I should say, because like that's just who I am. But like for stuff that I kind of lower prioritize, which a lot of other people probably do higher prize, like going out, events, stuff like that. I'm not as sociable when it comes down to stuff because I prioritize stuff like podcasts, stuff like speaking to friends, stuff like going on long, hectic runs that people are like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, traveling, those sort of things. But we all have different priorities. It's just the high priority.
For sure. That's not a bad thing though. You're doing what you love, so
exactly. And it goes like that. I feel, you know what, George, I'm just going to say that I'm going to keep that in the podcast because that was a fantastic, like, we're just going to jump right in, mate, because like that was fantastic.
Oh, sweet. Okay, I thought,
what I was going to ask you, and this is a bit of a weird question, but I want to pose this to my guests as like a sort of a almost starter. We'll use that as like the prologue, but the starter question: if a tree falls in the woods and you don't see it, has it still fallen?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes, because I've seen it and I've witnessed it.
So even though you're not in the woods and a tree has fallen and you're not there to see it, does it?
You're not there. You're not there to see it. Oh no. So I thought you meant as if I saw if I had seen it fall.
No. Sorry, I didn't explain that properly. But like the whole concept of that is just like a psychology question behind, like, a lot of people. Some people think of the multiverse. Some people think of like the parallel universes of all these things, and it's cool to contemplate. Just because you don't see something, does it actually happen? You know?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Do you ever contemplate stuff like that, or am I just mad?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Like, I don't obviously. I think the multiverse and stuff are all science fiction and stuff like that. But I do believe that there are like alien planets similar to ours. I don't think they're on the same cognitive time schedule as us. I don't think there's going to be another Chris Taylor doing a podcast right at this minute and like under the sea or something. That's just ridiculous. But I mean, I'm always open to theories and stuff. I'm quite a conspiracy theorist, so I quite like the idea of people. That's opened up another new question, hasn't it? I quite like the idea of people's thoughts and views on events, historical events, especially that could be true or couldn't have possibly happened. But yeah,
That's so you're into space. This always brings up Tom DeLonge in my mind. Like, were you inspired by Tom from early days and seeing like the alien side of things, like back in like the early days?
yeah. I mean, obviously, I was a big fan of Blink 182 growing up, and I think it was more like sort of Independence Day with Will Smith. I think that was my first, and apart from Star Wars as well, I think that was my first film that I sat down and watched, and I kind of was more interested in like the space and what else could be out there, because I don't believe that for a second that we're the only life form in this universe. I mean, you look up at the stars and you can only see a certain percentage of what's actually out there. And because of light pollution and stuff, and we can only see what the art as far as the eye can see, sort of thing. So, I mean, you look at the new Hubble telescope that has been launched. I don't think it's called the Hubble. I think it's called something else. But getting the clearest pictures from millions of light years away, just thinking that every little dot has got 7 or 8 exoplanets. I think they're called, and I just think that's brilliant. I think that's awesome. I like the
It
unknown.
is.
It just opens more questions to things.
It
You know
does,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? But
Dude,
like even like
like
area, yeah, go on.
no, I was going to ask you as well. You said the Hubble telescope. Did you see recently they discovered the oldest universe of all time?
I did see that. I did see that. I was looking at that on Twitter because I follow NASA, and I was like, wow, so many like colors and things like that. Like the spectrum is like crazy. And I see another like a video of a black hole as well. That was man, like that's scary shit. Like that could happen.
Like,
Are we allowed to
this
swear
is
by the
why
way?
I think human beings should only last 100 years, because if we go any further we're going to have to witness these sort of things. Like, we're going to have to witness a black hole suck in our universe and we'll just be like, no.
I know. I mean, that's definitely something out of like a video game or what's happening in the multiverse and things like that. It depends on just what you believe in, really. But yeah, for sure, I'm definitely one for conspiracy theories and think and life possibly elsewhere. Maybe not in our universe though. Maybe not in our like
Mm.
solar system to say, but I think definitely out there for sure.
Yeah, I think you're right, and there's something fishy about all of these little events that have happened through human history, about where we've seen like spaceships come to the planet and they've been like technologically advanced to the point where you have to think to yourself like, I think it's just nigh on impossible that we're not alone, sort of thing, you know?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, you look at like Area 51 as well. That apparently they don't have any artificial intelligence or anything in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see. I mean, who's that guy? Is it like Snowden, Robert Snowden? He works for like a big company or for the government, and he said that there's loads of files out there that are unclassified.
Yeah.
So it'd be so interesting to see that. And I think if I was ever president of the United States, the first thing I'd do is be like, is there any more life forms out there? And they'll be like, yes, Mr. President, come and have a look at this. This is what we captured this week. This is what came down today. And I'll be like, whoa. And then what I'll do, I'll retire and then tell the world, make millions from it. That's my idea. I think everyone has a
You'd
right to
write your
know,
own
though.
book.
I think everyone has a
You'd
right to
write your
know,
own
though.
book, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, for sure. But do you not think that everyone should have a right to know? If something came down from our planet, would you be scared as a citizen, or would you not? Like,
See, I think they've already done this to the previous president. I think Mr. Orange Face himself actually found out, and it was too big. Like it was too much info. Like it was so big that he knew that if he told the world and he told his followers, and I think it might blow people's minds a little bit, so much that you're like, oh God, existential crisis mode activate sort of thing. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm underestimating people. Maybe that's the thing. Like maybe the government is underestimating people's ability to deal with aliens. I really don't know how people would deal with it.
Yeah. Well, if Donald Trump knew, I'm pretty sure that he'd go on Twitter and do like an explosive rant or something like he used to. And yeah, I think as a president, I think you have rules that what you are and what you're not allowed to say. Like, here's the big red button, push it if you feel like it, or when there is an attack or whatever. But don't press it just because it's there, sort of thing. Like you've still got a right to protect people. And I think in a way, I wouldn't like. There would just be so many questions rather than answers if we ever found out that there was any sort of life forms and stuff. But yeah, I don't know if you've heard. Have you heard the conspiracy about the conspiracy theory about the Obamas?
No.
So apparently, Barack Obama is a lizard in human form, and I think I can't remember who his right hand man was at the time. Not Joe. No, it wasn't another one. It was a different. He wasn't a vice president, but he was like a general attorney. And yeah, it seems to be like the whole hierarchy of the government that are all like lizards and like biological creatures and stuff. And what was another one I saw the other day? Mark Zuckerberg. Apparently, he's like a robot or something. He's not actually real. He's just like a computer
I can believe
AI
that
sort of thing. Man, he looks like, yeah, he's got like facial expressions like Christian Stewart sometimes. Like there's like it's just very blank, isn't it? It's like very hard to read if what he's saying is actually true. But yeah, I love all that stuff.
Dude, I think you're on the money there. So some of them are a little bit ridiculous, like maybe the lizard people are a little bit far, but you know, it is what it is.
Oh, you never know.
That's you know, it is what it is.
Oh, you never know.
That's
could have a multiverse, mate. Could be living in something that we don't even know.
Can you imagine if this turns out to be the lizard universe and we just happen to be in it? Like this just happens to be awesome. The lizard universe.
That would be pretty cool.
It would explain the climate change. They're trying to warm it up.
See, this is a whole different project. Don't even get me started on that. I believe it. Obviously, I believe in climate change and things like that. But yeah, I don't think it's a subject we should really go on to.
Yeah. It might get cancelled early on.
Subject, isn't it? Yeah, we could talk about anything else though, but pronouns and stuff. But I don't want to get in trouble.
That's it, man. Good man. Keeping your nose clean. I was going to ask, you've got a really clean setup in the background there. I love your background, those shoes.
Oh, thanks,
that's really nicely set up, mate. I was going to ask, like, what sort of shoes are you going on there? That's like a really nice, clean setup there.
So I've got some 95s, which are the top ones. I've got some Nike Sacaias, and I've bought some Air Force Ones yesterday. And I've got some, I don't know if you can see those ones up there. I think they're just low Jordan Dunks. I've kind of invested quite a lot of money into trainers. I never used to be fashionable at all. But then one year I was like, I don't have any clothes for like summer. I always have winter clothes. So when it was boiling, it would like I'd be wearing jumpers and stuff, and like I had no shorts. So I was just like, this year I'm just gonna go for a massive like shopping spree and sort out my wardrobe and things like that. And I think it's getting.
You've kind of blown my mind a little bit there, because now that you said that, this makes so much sense, because now I remember you wearing winter clothes in summer. This makes so much sense now.
Yeah, I know. Literally, it was so bad. Yeah, I know. Literally, it was so bad. I'm pretty sure I've still got like a jumper that I wore like 3 or 4 years ago that I just haven't seemed to have grown out of. But I don't really tend to walk about that in public. It's more just sort of chilling around the house.
Dude, you've released your secret into the world. Now everyone knows you can't go outside the house. Why are you wearing winter gear in summer, George?
I know. That's the thing. I went shopping. I'm not a massive fan of online shopping. I
Mm.
used to, I mean, I only really order stuff online that I really need, like plain white t-shirts, black t-shirts, and stuff like that. But yesterday I went into town, and it's the first time I've been into town for ages. Normally, I'm very specific about what I want, so I would go in and then I'll be like, okay, I'm going to buy a t-shirt today and a pair of trainers, but I'll come out with jeans and socks. So I was very undecisive about what it is that I actually wanted. But yeah, like yesterday in town was just mad, like just rushing about and just slow walkers. I just can't stand anymore. It's like get out of the way. But it's just so annoying. But yeah, I mean, if it's something I need, I'll probably go into town. But what about you? Are you more online or are you more?
For me, 90% of my clothes are exercise clothes. So you have to like force me to buy like clean, nice press shirts, stuff like that. Like I have to find an event. Like I buy clothes around events. So for instance, when we went to the race tracks, I bought an outfit for that event. So I'm kind of
Yeah,
um I don't know, like you have to force me to buy clothes. It's just not something that I prioritize. I'll buy new clothes if they're torn apart, if there's holes in them. But I'm one of
oh
those
for
guys
sure.
like who
Yeah,
have to like I'm a minimalist. I hate having a wardrobe that is just piling up. Like I have to
yeah,
clean it out. And I'd rather spend money on stuff that I know I'm gonna wear often and regularly
yeah,
rather than something that I'm just gonna wear once and then never wear again, sort of thing.
yeah. It's like an investment. It's like get a
Mm.
jacket in the summer, but it's not for the summer. It's for like prepping yourself for like months ahead, sort of thing. Yeah, no, I totally get that. Yeah, you looked very
Because
dapper for the Newbury races, by the way.
thank
Was
you
that
very
like
much, mate.
was that pre-planned or did you have an idea in your head? Like, do you
It was
know
pre-planned, so
it
I'd
was
made sure
pre-planned?
that a
Yeah,
week in advance that I'd made sure I'd gone through and got an idea in my head of what I
yeah,
wanted to do. So yeah, it's
yeah.
the probably people would call that OCD in wanting to plan that far ahead. But it is what it is
Oh
in
mate, I,
that sort of
honestly,
sense.
I'm the
It is
oh
in
mate, I,
that sort of
honestly,
sense.
I'm the same. I'm the same. I feel like I have to plan probably like 2 or 3 weeks before an event. No, I know exactly what I'm going to be wearing. I know exactly what trainers I'm going to be wearing. I've got to make sure that I get a haircut in either the day before or 2 days before. So in case I don't like it, it's got that day of sort of styling it or whatever. But yeah, I think I don't really go to events and stuff anymore. So I think more of what I bought is more just an investment in case like an event comes out sort of thing. But yeah,
You got to want to enjoy it as well, don't you? Like you want to walk out the door and feel good about yourself. That's the main thing I always think. Like you feel confident walking out the door
oh
in
for
the clothes you
sure.
wear. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I bought some aftershave yesterday. I bought that Savage, that Johnny Depp one. Only like
Nice.
a little small bottle, and I love the smell of that certain aftershave. And it's normally quite expensive. If you don't go online, it's normally sort of 70, 80 quid for like a full big bottle. And they done a sale for like I think it was like 50 or 60 quid for just a little small one. I was like, yeah, I'm having that, but I've got quite the aftershave collection now, so I'm happy with that.
Dude, you know what? I think that's actually a secret to one of the favorite things that women don't talk about very often, but you will get hit up on very quickly, snapped up on. If you smell nice, it's like instant win. Basically, you get they're on your side. If you smell good, like it just becomes a win. That's one of the secrets. I've noticed that I've been told basically if I smell nice and I get told that I know, I'm already like got ya.
For sure, for sure. And if the aftershave don't do it justice, just wear chinos.
Just wear chinos. Is
Just
that
wear
the secret?
chinos, man. Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. I don't know if you noticed it, but I did when walking around newbie races. So, well,
Now that you said that, yes, that is actually very true. Like chinos, they're just a class act. You can wear them in so many scenarios, and I think that
yeah,
they're really reusable. Like that's the functionality talk in my head. I think take after my dad in the sense that if something's not functional, I'm not going to buy it because I have like
yeah,
that camping thing in my head where like, oh, if I can't take it camping, then there's no point having it in the first place.
Yeah, I know. I think that your dad has done that straight into you from an early age. I think,
Yeah.
you've got to make sure that you're warm, or if you're not going out, make sure you bring a jacket or whatever. I know what you mean. But I watched. Speaking of your dad, I watched the other guys yesterday. Man, I was saying to Megan the whole time, I was like, your dad looks so much like Will Ferrell. It's unbelievable. And after all these years, you can even start denying it, but he looks identical to Will Ferrell. Get a
He's
picture of Will. Get a
he's
picture of Will
accepted
Ferrell
it
up
now,
in
mate.
dad.
You got to accept it.
Yeah. Does he get it a lot? Does he get people to say? Does people come up and tell him, or not really?
I think because when he's not smiling, he's kind of a daunting figure towards people. And I've been told this, like if he's not smiling, then people don't want to come up to him. So it's kind
because
of
he's like 6'5" and like built.
he's quite a big guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that if he does and he's in a good mood, then people are much more happy to take the piss and like say like, yeah, you look like Will Ferrell, and he'll be like, oh right then, yeah, I am. Yeah. But it is what it is, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I have never had anyone come up to me. Actually, I did once when we just started secondary school, and someone told me that I looked like a younger Richard Hammond from Top Gear. So I was quite impressed by that. I was quite happy to take that, really. But this is when
you
I was
had the longer hair.
Yeah, this is proper gothy emo hair. Yeah, so that was quite a weird quite a weird change. But yeah, I don't think I look like anyone. I'm quite happy just being normal Bill. So
yeah, you look like you. Like that's the thing. I think that's the nice thing is if you've got like a unique face that you're not getting compared to somebody consistently, that's always a nice feeling as well. It's like you're you.
Yeah, and I mean, there's people over in the States that are impersonating rappers at the moment. I don't know if you've seen this, but there's someone on Instagram called Fake Drake, and he's got the haircut. He looks very similar to Drake. Got the hairstyle. He's got the looks. He's got he looks exactly like him. But he's an impersonator, and he actually earns money from going into like private events. And yeah, you'll see a lot of these. There's a rapper called Little Durk that has a very similar person that looks like him, and he just goes around parties and just sleeps with women, and I think he sleeps with women. I'm sure he does if you look like that. But yeah, no, it was. I mean, wow, it's crazy how many people could just get money from that. It's crazy. Have a look at him. Fake Drake.
I'm gonna look that up
on Instagram. Yeah, Fake Drake and Little Durk. Lildurk. But yeah, these people actually get stopped on the streets. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. It's cool.
It's funny you should say that because I remember, I think somebody's dad, and I believe it's a famous person. The guy's name, I can't remember at the top of my head. He's played the Angel in this Amazon series recently, and he's in loads of stuff. He's a Welsh gentleman, and if I can think of it, he's in. Did you ever watch the series Good Omens?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's the Angel. I forgot his name.
Oh, I know. Michael someone.
Yeah. So his dad was like a impersonator. Like he did the exact same thing. So it was really, and he got paid like big bucks back then, like in the 90s, wow, to impersonate. And I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was either. That was it. Jack Nicholson. I knew it was going to come to me. So he looks like a split exact look like Jack Nicholson. And during the 90s, apparently, he just got paid so much to just go. He went on red carpets. He went on like massive movie events that Jack couldn't go on, which was insane. Oh, wow. And I thought to myself, like, can you imagine that? You just got to live the life, but without having any of the consequences. Like,
yeah, for sure. So was he an impersonator or was he like a stunt double? Because I know some stunt doubles, they do look quite alike, don't they?
Yeah, I love I don't know if you saw it, but in Thor: Love and Thunder, Chris Hemsworth's stunt double, he had to like, because Chris Hemsworth was getting so big, like massive wise, he had to keep up, and like he put on so much weight within such a short amount of time. It was insane. Like him having to keep up with Chris Hemsworth rather than the other way around for a stunt double.
Sod that. That's like keeping up with Mark Wahlberg. Can you
Yeah,
imagine like living his life? Have you seen his artillery for like what he does during the day?
I've seen that he gets up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and that's all I need to hear, basically.
He gets it. I mean, he gets it. I mean, that's commitment. Like he has, I think, yeah, from like 3 until like 5, he's in the gym, and then he has like an hour's praying time, and then he's back at it, goes to work, family time. It's a crazy schedule, but that is like making the most of 12 hours a day or whatever. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. 24 hours. But man, that's. I think James Corden. I think James Corden tried it at one of his on that Late Late Show. Did you see it?
I
That was
did see
funny.
that, and I was just like, if anyone was in need of somebody taking over their life and getting them in shape, it's James Corden. Like he needed that.
Oh man, yeah. No, that would be cool though. I think. I mean, if you get yourself into that routine, I think it's hard to break, isn't it? So if you're used
Yeah.
to getting up at that time, you can't just suddenly stay on for another hour in bed, sort
Yes, but I think
of thing.
the most important thing that this like kind of a lot of these celebrities and a lot of these like guys who do this don't talk about is that it's really important to get 8 hours of sleep. And some of these guys are getting like, 6 and 4 and 5, and you're like, you're just gonna burn the candle at both ends, man. Like that's not healthy.
Yeah,
Like it's really not good for you and your recovery.
yeah, for
And
sure.
that's like, I don't know if you know about this, but if you get less than 7 hours of sleep regularly, you're more likely to get Alzheimer's. So,
Oh,
you know,
really?
yeah, it's good
Oh,
examples of
bloody.
that is Ronald Reagan and the ex prime minister, the Iron Lady herself, who got it as well.
Yeah,
And they both got it because they got, they used to talk about that they would only get like 5 or 4 hours sleep a night. And they both got Alzheimer's. So it was just like,
yeah.
don't do it basically, because,
Oh,
you know,
really? I
yeah,
think it's hard though because if you're in a certain position like a prime minister, I can't imagine like going to sleep knowing that you've got the whole of the UK to please and to do your job at the same time. I think you've got to be really, my hat's off to the people that actually do those sort of routines because it just seems like they never really stop. They ain't got real time to actually be or do anything that they want. So fair play to them. But I think a routine is like it's very important. I mean, for me, I can't stand going to bed later than 11 o'clock anymore. I used to be able to do it, but I'm more of a morning person now. I like to get up at like sort of 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Go take a shower at 7. Make sure I'm out of the shower by a certain time and eat properly and get ready for work at 9 and things like that. So and yeah, I think a routine is definitely part of something if you want to change like old habits and lifestyle is sleep. I just love sleep.
no, I totally agree, because if you just kind of think it through, and if you're just allowing your day to go by and say, oh, maybe I'll just do it tomorrow, maybe I'll do tomorrow, maybe I'll do tomorrow, it just keeps going. There's always people out there saying, I'll start
Yeah,
my fitness journey tomorrow, or I'll start meditating tomorrow. It's just constant, isn't it, really, at the end of the day?
yeah, for sure. And I think as well as like because I've just started tracking my calories, and I've got to make sure that I think they do say to have protein before you go to bed.
Mm.
And I've got to get out of the habit of having a coffee before bed as well. I'm literally living on coffee at the moment, and I always have one before bed. And I don't know if, obviously, I know it disrupts like your sleeping pattern and stuff, but I can quite easily sleep through a cup of coffee, which is weird. I don't know if that's quite good or that's quite bad, but yeah, it's just I've never had a real difficulty to sleep at all. I could be sleeping on an aeroplane with hardly any leg room for like 7 hours and sleep the whole way through. It only takes me about 10, 15 minutes in a moving car or a train or a bus or whatever transport. I'll be out like a light. Seriously, I just love any sort of motion that just sends me to sleep. It's great.
Dude, you're lucky. You're one of the few, the very few who are able to do that. You and Elijah Wood, basically.
Elijah Wood. I know, but what time do you go to bed?
Me, 10 o'clock. I'm one of those people.
But what do you like? Do you stay up for a bit and read, or do you listen to music, or listen to a podcast before you go to bed, or?
I wish I could say I've got a healthy going to bed habit. I do not, sadly. I used to meditate before I go to bed when I was on my roll mat, but I've got into a bad habit of watching movies before I go to bed, which isn't good for you at all. But I do love doing it, so I need to create that evening routine as good as my morning routine. So it's a little bit of lack of equilibrium there for me. But what do you do?
I just listen to music, mate. To be honest, I mean, I wish I could get into a book. Well, I am. I'm kind of reading like it's a self help book. It's
Mm.
called "Healing Is the New High" by an author called Vex King, and he's got a collection of about 3 or 4 books, and it's all about taking control of your life and being in charge of your brain and your feelings, emotions, everything like that. It's just a whole collective book that you can just sort of, you don't have to read every chapter if it doesn't really relate to you, but if you're down and you're having a sad day or something, you can look through the index and you can go, right, okay, chapter 4 is all about how to start being more content and more and enjoying some time alone, use it as a kind of rest thing. So I've just got that by my side and I'll pick it up maybe twice, 3 times a week. But normally for me, like getting into bed at like, sort of 9, half 9, I chuck on an album. I listen to some like old school hip hop, old school R&B, and put that on a little bit of a low volume so I can still, still collectively think. But then, yeah, by probably about 4 or 5 songs in, I think I'm asleep. I don't actually hear
That's
the end of the
fantastic.
album. So, but that's my sort of like little remedy, really. But I can imagine yours is more like you probably listen to you would want to listen to like a podcast, wouldn't you, or something before you go to bed?
Probably listen to lo-fi, mate. Probably listen to lo-fi.
Oh yes, lo-fi, mate. I'm gonna try your lo-fi mix today. I was really impressed with that. You'll
Thank
have
you.
to do
Thank you,
like
bud.
you'll have to do like a tutorial guide on how you did that. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool.
I will. That's a good one. I'm just going to pause it here just because the Zoom meeting's going to kick us out in 2 minutes because I don't have the pro version, but I'll restart it in like 2 seconds. So give me 2 minutes.
A few moments later.
I refuse to pay Zoom any money whatsoever. I shall consistently steal from them until they give us unlimited time on the old Zoom meetings.
He says that whilst live on Zoom, where they probably
Who
can't hear
cares?
us.
Fight
That's
me
another
now,
conspiracy
CEO of
theory.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Fight me now. back
Yeah.
back to what you were saying earlier. Like lo-fi, it's so relaxing. It's so like methodic. Is that it? No, like what's the word? Melodic. Yeah, melodic.
Melodic.
Yeah.
Melodic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What you said about putting it together. I've been listening to it since 2016, so I've got quite a collection of lo-fi over that period of time. Lots of different
Yeah.
artists. And I've kind of curated my favorites over that period of time. I think my next step that I want to take is I want to create like a Harry Potter one or a Lord of the Rings one where it's like a mixture of like a genre or a specific film or something on those lines to maybe make a niche one. But
Oh, for sure. I think a Lord of the Rings one would be good. I think Harry Potter. I don't think there's enough. Well, I suppose there is, but I think if you were, I would prefer going for Lord of the Rings. If I were you, I'd go for Lord of the Rings. But I mean, you've got who's the composer of most? It's not.
So
Is it Danny Elfman?
no, it's Howard Shaw. There we go.
Howard Shore. Okay, yeah, but no, I would do Lord of the Rings. I feel like that's got more of a width to
Yeah.
lo-fi than it has with Harry Potter.
Yeah, got that vibe, doesn't it? Where you can take Hobbiton and sort of turn it into that relaxation slash like kind of hip hoppy beat to it as well.
For sure. I think I must listen to is it Curious Hobbits or Traveling Hobbits? Maybe twice a month.
Yeah.
Is it Curious Hobbits or something like that? Concerned
Concerning
Hobbits. That's
Hobbits.
it.
Yeah, Jinx.
Concerning
Yeah,
Hobbits.
exactly.
Yeah, I got there in the end. No, I think I listen to that probably like twice a week at
Yes.
least, on a dog walk as well. I think, where I live at the moment, there's lots of fields and trees and open space, so it's quite cool to kind of just listen to all that sort of music and definitely get your head sort of relaxed, so
100%, because you can it sort of, if you're sometimes like me, I'm a little bit of a hothead sometimes, so I get into an argument. The best way for me to cool down is to kind of listen to stuff like that or to work out.
yeah, for sure.
And so that sort of resets me and makes me stay in that sort of zen zone,
Yeah, it's nice. It's good. I was having this conversation with my mom the other day because she's very into reading, and the first books that I ever read or I had read to me were the Harry Potter series, and
Mm,
I just become so lost in the world that my imagination back then was not. It was half of what it is now. Um, and I'd love to get back into those sort of books, but I just I just don't have the patience to sit there and read. I just For me, like, music is my form of reading. You're listening to different types of genres. You're interpreting different levels of music as well. Sometimes it could be house, it could be dance, or it could be hip hop, and every music or every album has, to me, like a story, and I quite like that. And
yeah.
that's something that I enjoy doing.
Dude, that's beautiful. That's a great way of putting it, because it has such a diverse feel to it, doesn't it, music? And it's different to all of us. We've all got
Yeah,
a sort of image of what we feel when we listen to certain things. I
yeah,
don't think that, for me personally, music actually contains me like a key to some doors. So like I can
yeah,
activate a part of myself. For instance, when I'm running, if I want to take that extra level up,
yeah.
if I don't have headphones on and if I'm in a bad mood, that automatically puts me into the ability to just unlock that door and just turn on
I know what you mean.
the
I know what you
demon
mean.
within, basically. And
Yeah,
that's something that
I
you
don't think
unlock.
there's
But with
anything.
no, what were you going to say? Sorry.
Sorry, you keep freezing. You were cutting out a little bit, so I wasn't quite sure when you were speaking.
Oh, sorry.
Um,
Yeah, my internet here, mate, is terrible. Sorry.
hasn't got Zoom, hasn't got good internet connection.
He's
Licking.
running a shoddy podcast.
No, nah, it's fine, mate. It's all. Yeah, no, I went to the gym yesterday and I was in a rush and I forgot to pack my headphones. And I'll tell you what, I've done probably the most half-hearted workout I've ever done. I just went in there and I was like, normally I'd listen to hip hop, and I walked in and I was like, okay, it's just music. It's very boom, 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 which I don't mind, but it's not something that would give me that, serotonin sort of boost. So I was like, okay, this is going to be weird. And yeah, every workout I was doing, and it was just, songs were just getting worse, and it was like, oh, please just put on something decent. But I just couldn't go up and ask them to play something decent because I wasn't in that right mindset. But I think headphones are definitely key for any sort of people that are gymming, especially with like cardio as well. I can't imagine going running without any sort of headphones or any background noise.
I would say that you have to have done it for a while to be able to run without headphones.
Yeah,
I would always suggest to people who are starting to wear headphones, because it does allow you to have that motivation to keep going. It's very hard for me to say to people, unlock your inner psychopath and go fucking running without headphones. Like, it's not easy for people to understand how to do that in the first place. Like, it's really,
yeah,
it's much more beneficial to say, take some hardcore rap and rock and just go listen to it, get in that zone and channel it into your cardio or into your workout. But you were saying to me the other day, you don't really listen to heavy music when you're working out, which I find really interesting.
uh, I have once, and I think it was Lincoln Park what I've done. And I had that on repeat when I was doing a leg day because I was really struggling that day, and I thought, okay, I need to have something to boost that adrenaline. And I think that song kind of got me through it as well. But yeah, I think I've kind of, I mean, I'm all into sort of music genres and stuff, but I think it just depends on the mood, really. I mean, I'm not like Jordan. I mean, he listens to some sort of heavy stuff. I've got no problem with that. It is good music, but it's just not. It's just something that I just can't function. Like it's just too loud, way too loud.
Wait till you unlock Bunkai, my friend. Wait till you unlock Bunkai.
Who's this?
It's basically there's this term within the anime world, but that it's you know what a Super Saiyan is, yeah?
A Super Saiyan?
Super Saiyan. It's
No, I have no idea what that is.
okay, so within the anime community, there's this thing where you level up as a like the anime character will level up, gain more power, they'll gain more strength by saying just this one word.
Right.
Type
Okay.
in on Spotify the word Bunkai, which means to transform in Japanese. It's this idea of if you listen to this music while you're running, while you're working out, you'll listen to it and you will unleash that next level within yourself. And
Okay.
like you have to be, I mean, for me, it works because I know that if I'm in the zone, and if you know what the zone is, it's literally such a high level of concentration that you see nothing else but the moment that you're in. There is nothing else around you. There is literally this one moment. And when you're listening to this sort of music, it allows you to channel even more energy within to it. So it's one of those things that when I said earlier, unlocking your inner psycho, that's what I mean. Like it's that ability to transform into that demon within you. So you need to keep going with what you're doing, but one day you'll come to me and say, Chris, I've unlocked Bunkai.
Yeah. So does that have to be with like that certain genre of music? Does it have to be with
No,
rock, or
no,
can
no,
that
no.
be
I
with
just mean
anything?
like it's just literally an idea. You know, it's just literally one day you'll come to me and say, I've unlocked the zone, I've unlocked this new way of working out and this ability for you to just be so focused on what you're doing that there will be
Yeah, for
nothing
sure.
else. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you'll love
No,
it,
that
mate.
would be
Trust
cool.
me.
I'll have to try that. I think I've got a I'm doing a cyclone class next week, which is like a you know the Peloton cycling things where you've got
Yeah.
someone up there or you've got like a projector and you've got to go at a certain speed. And a lot of that would be very well, you'd have to have something that's very quite upbeat. So maybe like some drum and bass, or maybe even some rock music. Who knows?
We,
I'll let you know
even the
if
killers
I
will
survive
do,
next week.
get some killers in there.
I don't know. I think it's too slow for the Killers. For me, I need something that's gonna go kind of match my heartbeat, you know. But I'll let
Yes.
you know how it goes. I might not be able to make it next week, depending on how my legs go. But who knows? Who knows?
Keep it going, my friend. I'm so pleased for you, mate. You're making so much progress over like such a short period of time as well. So
Thanks, man.
good on you. Like, how are you feeling mentally at the moment? Are you feeling clearer? You know, as a person, you're making so much progress. Like, how are you feeling at the moment? Like, mentally clear or anything along those lines?
Yeah. No, everything's going great. I mean, obviously, you know, the drinking started to just become a bit of a problem. And I was doing it a lot over the past, you know, sort of 6 or 7 years. And then this year, I kind of just got myself clean and just, you know, started taking life from a different perspective, sober perspective. And you know, I'm not saying that I've been clean this whole entire year since January, but obviously, you know, I've had a few drinks here and there with good catch ups of mates, but for me, there have been more of tests to see if I can or can't stop in a way. And yeah, they have both been successful, but I just think that for me, because it was such a big part of my life, I think to take that next step to become hopefully teetotal by the end of the year is something that I would say I thought would never have or never would happen in, you know, sort of 6 or 7 years. So for me to get to this stage at 27 rather than 37, I think that's, I've addressed that there was a problem, and things are good now. And I just intend to just, keep working on myself every day, and, make sure that my mindset is clinical, and I'm with the right people. Because I think at the end of the day, I think if you got to surround yourself with positive people. For me, that was yourself, and my family, and some of my friends, and it was a hard process, but it was a process that needed to be done. Better late than never, sort of thing.
So many people our age keep acting like 27 is the end of our lives. This is barely the beginning, my
I
friend.
know.
You shouldn't be
Mate,
giving yourself such a hard time, man.
no, I'm not giving myself a hard time. It's just I went to an engagement party last night, and it was one of our childhood schoolmates from our primary school. And the amount of people there, they were saying, "Oh, are you married? Are you engaged? Or have you got a kid?" And I was like, "No, I'm single." I'm like, "Okay." It's like he was like one of the guys came up to me and said, "So how do you know David?" And I said, "I've known him from when we were tiny. We went to school together, and we've just grown up since then." And I just said it's just weird that people are starting to get engaged, and real things are happening, like houses, getting stuff done, and babies and everything like that. It's like it puts things into perspective. Like you're actually getting older now. It's not the same.
Makes me laugh, man. I'm not getting married until I'm 37, mate. Fuck that. Fuck
You know,
that
I was
sideways.
thinking that as well. I was like, I was thinking like, is marriage all worth it? But obviously it is. I will hopefully end up getting married, but I'm not in a rush. So
Yeah. That's a really good mindset, man. Like, just because everyone else is doing something doesn't necessarily making it right. I'd like to point out there as well. Like, if everyone's
yeah,
decided to jump off a bridge, you don't friggin' follow them with it, sort of thing as
I
well.
think we had this conversation at Newbie Races, didn't we? We were saying like how quickly everyone you feel that everyone's getting married really quickly, but I think if you've been together for 7 or 8 years, pushing on or whatever, I don't know if there's a real certain time where you think, okay, marriage is the next step for us. Because I have my uncle, and he's not married, but he's been with his girlfriend for about 15, 16 years.
Hmm.
And he's not religious or anything, so he just thinks that the marriage is just like it's just one of those things that you do, and it's a lot of money. But I guess it just depends on where you are, and tradition, really. I know your mum and dad got married in a church, so I can imagine you'll probably get married in a church, sort of thing. So it's like,
Georgia, I'm
yeah, it's
so
tradition,
flexible,
really.
mate. If it was up to me, I'd be like your uncle. I would not get married. It's a government thing. Like, do you know how
Your
much
your your
money
honey.
it costs? Like,
Do you
it
know
will
what
be
your
all down to
honeymoon
my
would be?
future wife. I tell you that now. If she wants to get married, that's
Yeah,
fine. I'll happily pay for it. But I will point out that it costs around 40 grand to do all of the big things. And I will
I
say,
know.
what would you rather have? 40 grand of a massive holiday, cruising around the world, or would you rather have this massive wedding?
I'm going to be really cheesy here and say that I would want my missus just to be happy. You know what I'm saying?
son of
Like,
son of a
she
bitch
wants
put
if
me
she
in it.
wants a wedding, like, yeah, that's what you got to think of, mate. You've got to make sure that she's happy as well. And I think, like, I don't know if it's a tradition anymore about the dad always pays for, or the parents always pay for, or most for the wedding and stuff. I don't know how that works, and things like that. I can imagine it's quite outdated now, but yeah, I can imagine it is a lot of money. But what I was thinking was that I can imagine your perfect honeymoon being like a massive cardio session around your house or your area, like going uphill and viewing all your
I'm not gonna
podcast
do a
spots and things
marathon
like
for
that. And
my
so I was
honeymoon.
like,
Like I
"This is
said,
your honeymoon, darling. Yeah, it's going to be a run around the block, but you're going at my pace, bitch." Yeah,
everyone would die.
not me.
Everyone would die. No,
Yeah,
like it's for me again. Like I have no emotion when it comes down to that sort of thing. Like you said, not being cheesy or anything, but whatever she wants, she can have. That's
yeah,
for
sort of
her.
thing.
I genuinely have the view that weddings are for women. Like men don't really dream of weddings. We don't really, for me, I don't dream of getting married. I'm not like thinking, oh, I can't wait until that day when I'm walking down the, no, it's not for me. It's for her.
Yeah.
And I'm happy, more than happy to make it the best day ever and make all of that for her. But for me personally, it means nothing. I could be like your uncle and literally just say, screw the government. They're not getting their marriage tax. And I'll just be happy either way. So, you know, it is what it is. But I'd love to know, what's your ideal honeymoon then, Mr. Calling me Mr. Cardio?
I don't know. I think it'd just be like a couple of weeks in the Bahamas or somewhere like Bora Bora, or I've always wanted to go to Santorini, and it just depends. I mean, if I'm not married by, you know, a certain age or in the next 20 odd years, I'm going to take myself to the Bahamas and Santorini and just marry myself.
Ooh.
So
I like that. No, that's a good shout.
Yeah, well, no, I'm only joking. No, I mean, yeah, Santorini, sort of St. Lucia, Bahamas. I think anywhere around there would be nice.
Yeah.
But that'd be cool.
It's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful idea. And I think that it's very easy to get sort of lost in that ideas of, we'll pay for it later. You know what I mean by that? Like, we'll just take on the debt and then we'll pay for it later. Nah, it's not the way to go forward at all. Like, make sure, like, if you are going to do it, be sensible about it, is what I would say to most people. Like, make sure you've got the money before you go saying, I'm going to get married or anything along those lines, because, you know, you'll start resenting it. So one of the podcasts I literally just recorded, I talked about how the psychology behind people buying stuff they can't afford is that, let's say you buy a new MacBook Pro and you don't have the money for it, but you're looking to buy it and you want it, you'll lose respect for that item because you can't afford it.
Sure, yeah.
But if you save for it and you're patient and you wait and you create a cash flow that can afford it in the end, it will become a treasure to you because it took that time to save up for it in the first place, and you won't resent it. So there is psychological games when it comes down to these sort of things as well. So I love that sort of stuff. I don't know about you.
Well, it's like the same with, you know, we were talking about like clothes and stuff. Like, it's more it's an investment, really. And going back to the saving up and things, I can remember from I must have been about 10 or 11, but I can remember there was this Pirates of the Caribbean Black Pearl ship, right, in Sainsbury's, and it was 50 quid, and it was I've still got it upstairs, but it was 50 quid, and at the time I was doing a paper round, and they were paying you, I think it was like 14 quid a week or something. So from Monday all the way through till Saturday or Sunday, you'd get paid £14 on a Mars bar. So I can remember sitting at my desk at home or the table at home and going, right, I need, you know, that's 3 or 4 weeks where I need to make sure that I'm not sick, and I need to go in and do all these paper rounds and stuff. And obviously, me not being great at maths, I calculated it completely wrong and found out that it was I could have done it in a lot shorter time than I had imagined. And I can remember this. I can remember this so distinctively. I was a pound short of this ship, and I said to my mum, "Oh, mum, you know, I've saved up all this money. You know, can you just lend me £1 and I'll give it back to you?" And she was like, "Nope." So I went to my dad. Nope. Did the same thing. And I actually, when I lived in Reading, there was a guy over the road that had a paper round that was similar to me, but he worked on Sundays. And I said, "Look, man, I need £1. You know, do you mind if I just come and help? You know, do your shift? I don't care how long it takes me. I just need this £1." And yeah, I done a couple of houses with him, and managed to get the £1. And then it was like straight off to Sainsbury's, came back, played with it. Oh, brilliant! But again, that was something like, you know, it was an investment. You know, you've worked hard to get this sort of thing. So that was quite a cool thing.
That's beautiful, man. I love that. That's so cool. Oh, mate, that says to me the epitome of like value for something as well. And you had Helm's Deep, you had the Pirates of the Caribbean ship. So I remember you were focused on those sort of things. You had that. So I do love the fact that you saved up for those sort of things and you didn't lose the respect for the value of the money behind it, because it can become very easy to just forget, like, oh yeah, I'll just buy the next thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I can remember always when you're around your house, you always had that box full of Lord of the Rings figures, and they weren't cheap. They were like, sort of like 8 or 9 quid, and for us being, kids, that was a lot of money. That was a lot of saving up. So, and
Dude,
we had quite the collection, didn't we, between me and you? So
yeah,
it was
it was
like,
awesome.
that
I
was
would bring my Urukai around your house. That was always my favorite thing, was just like, you had some of the
that
main
was
characters already, and then I'd bring the bad guys over.
it was awesome, man. And yeah, we just see, I miss all that stuff, man. But it'd be interesting to see what the our collection is. Sounds so nerdy, but our collection is how much it's worth. Because
Well,
I've still
the
got
problem
some of
with me
the.
is I didn't like keep it in mint condition. Like they're used stuff, like, because I properly used
Oh, I
them for such
see.
a
Yeah,
long time. It's like my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. My Yu-Gi-Oh cards are probably, if they were in good shape, they'd be worth a lot of money. But they're not, because I used them so much that it's got like my fingerprints on it and stuff like that, you
yeah.
know.
Because
Well,
I've still
the
got
problem
some of
with me
the.
is I didn't like keep it in mint condition. Like they're used stuff, like, because I properly used
Oh, I
them for such
see.
a
Yeah,
long time. It's like my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. My Yu-Gi-Oh cards are probably, if they were in good shape, they'd be worth a lot of money. But they're not, because I used them so much that it's got like my fingerprints on it and stuff like that, you know.
yeah.
Fucking
I know, but you don't really think that as a kid, though. It's not really like sort of drilled into you to save
nah.
this in case it's something happens in the future. But I think, yeah, I think the I mean, my shootout cards, the football ones. I mean, I only really done the shootout cards when Reading were in the Premier League, so that was twice. And my collection was pretty stacked there because I wanted to make sure that I got all the players from the football team I support. And I could just remember because they used to be like, what were they, 35p for a pack of 12?
Yes,
But now they're like £1.20 for like match attacks.
yeah,
It's crazy. Have you seen
mate.
that? It's like
It's
mad,
mental, absolutely
mad.
mental. You can
But
judge the way of the economy by a Freddo. Like, we just look at Freddo prices and we just need to know. I remember back when they were 25 pence per Freddo.
mate, they were 15p, 10, 15p.
There you
But when I
go.
was doing my paper round, they were like 45p. It's like crazy.
I know I can rely on you for historical knowledge of past events,
I
mate.
remember that. I remember shit like that, mate. I don't know why. I've got such a weird memory of things. Like I don't realize. I don't think my brain doesn't calculate most important things. But if you asked me what I was doing on this day, like 10, 11 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, I was here. I was doing this. I was, seeing this person. Blah
You
blah
need to
blah.
become
It's
a
weird.
lawyer, mate.
Weird.
We need you to become a
Oh
lawyer
mate,
so that
I
you
don't.
can fight the
Oh
court of law
god.
and become the new Harvey Specter.
Oh mate, I've started watching that again now. I've only been watching it on like little bits of like memes on like TikToks and things like that. And I can remember watching the first couple of episodes, and I thought, okay, this is going to be quite good. And obviously, at the time, I think Meghan Markle was just getting married to Prince Harry, and I didn't realize she was in it. I thought she was just an
Yeah.
actress from. But then I realized, I think you actually mentioned it. You said Meghan Markle was in Suits, and I was like, oh shit, I need to watch this. But yeah, but it is a good series. I need to watch more of it. To be fair.
Yeah, there's loads of stuff like that out there. And it's almost like you're flooded with content. There's so much stuff to watch. There's so many things to consume out there that you feel a little bit overwhelmed with stuff, and you end up watching the same stuff that you watched beforehand that you've already
Yeah,
watched, or a comfort video.
yeah.
It's always the way, isn't it?
It's yeah. I don't know what it is. It is definitely a comfort thing because you know what's going to happen at the end. It's like with series as well. I mean, I watched this week. I watched Creed 1 and 2, and I've
Yes.
I've not really been a massive fan of boxing fans since I watched is it Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal? I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
yeah, that was a really good film. And then something came up, and I was like, I haven't even seen any of the Rockies, like at all. So I made it my mission after Creed 1 and 2 to go back to the originals and start and watch it all again. And I think I'm on Rocky 4 now. I think Apollo Creed has just been killed in the ring against Ivan Drago.
That's
And
such a good
so
montage, by the way. He's like
it is
training in the
it is
snow. Yeah, he's ready. He's like pushing like old school friggin' like sleighs going through there training. It's
I don't
great.
think I've got to that bit yet. I've literally
Oh,
just got
mate.
to the bit where. So you thanks for that. I won't watch the rest of that.
No,
No,
mate.
no.
You're gonna love it, mate. It's probably one of the
I
best
have
parts of the movie.
I have seen a lot of the training videos, and I just thought, I needed that little kick, as a sort of motivational thing. But I think I've still got like 2 or 3 more Rockies to go. I think there's like 7 in total, or 6.
I don't even know, mate. I thought Rocky 4 was the last one. I think there's Rocky 5 and there's Rocky Balboa as well. It's mental.
Oh, actually, yeah, I think you're right about 5. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, there was one in, I think, 2006 that I've got listed on my watch list as one. And then it's Creed 1 and 2. Have you seen Creed?
I've seen Creed the original. I've not seen Creed 2. I
Oh, man.
kind of, I liked Creed 1, but I don't know. I haven't watched Creed 2. I probably should put it on my list to watch.
It's on Netflix.
Mm,
It
yeah.
is on Netflix. But yeah, it is a good film. Um, but yeah, so it made me want to get into boxing really now. I think we at our gym we've got they're setting up like I can't remember what it's called. It's like Blaze or something, and it's a boxing fitness class. I'm not really
Mm.
into going into or sparring anyone at the moment, but I think it'd
No,
be
you
cool
don't
to.
want to
I
get
think it is
brain
good.
damage.
Well, I think it comes with a risk, doesn't it, mate? It's like any old sport, isn't it?
Well,
MMA
yeah.
fighting, and even football sometimes. You hear about all
Yes.
these people that have got like lifelong injuries and stuff, but you got to be safe and all that. So, but yeah, I think the whole idea of boxing fitness, I think that's something that I'll definitely be interested in for sure.
Mate, whatever can keep you motivated, whatever works for you. I'm always this person who will say, I'm not going to force you or give you advice on stuff that you're not going to do. Find what you love and find what works
Yeah,
for you. Like if you love the boxing, go do the boxing. If you love bikes and you love cycling, go do the cycling. Like don't, force yourself to get into something that you're not going to commit to because like that's just so dumb, isn't it? That's like me trying to feed you
yeah, for
chocolate
sure.
you don't like, you know?
I love every chocolate, so that's not gonna be possible.
Let's end on this. I'll ask you one last question because I love you
Sure.
to end on a high and end on positive notes in these podcasts. And it is episode 100. We haven't said this. It is episode 100 of the Taylor's Tales podcast. We will be entering a new era of the Taylor's Tales podcast. This will no longer be the background anymore. I will no longer be in Chris's corner. I will be moving to a new area, a new podcast studio, and this will be a interesting way to start. And I hope, George, you'll be one of the first in-person guests for the new studio as well to come back on the show and we can talk.
Sure.
What are your goals for the coming year? Let's say 2022 and 2023. What's one thing you want to accomplish? What are your goals for the coming year? Let's say 2022 and 2023. What's one thing you want to accomplish?
um, just to keep healthy, keep training my mindset to be the way it is now. Surround myself more with family and friends, and going out and just enjoying more. Not taking anything for granted, and just go into the new year exactly how I've been in the last sort of 5 or 6 months, with that intention to just keep learning, keep growing, and just trying to get the message across to people that it's okay that if you're feeling down and you've got no one to turn to, because there's always people there to talk. And I feel like talking was such a big part for me, especially with my parents, about something so precious and delicate. But yeah, shout out to all the people that are pushing every day, and even though it could be bad, just keep going. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, just still stay in that positive mindset. So that's me, mate. That's me done.
Amazing.
For
And
sure.
I want to add to that and say recently I saw on TV Paddy the Baddy talk about how one of his friends killed himself, and he didn't know. And you may have seen this on the news as well, George, that he got called at 4:00 in the morning to know that his friend hadn't talked to any of his friends about his mental health issues. Let's make this a shout out, even on this small podcast, that you are not alone. People are going through what you are going through. The darkness will not conquer you, because we are warriors of light, and we will look after each other, and we stay strong with what George has talked about and staying that positive mindset. So please stick around to the end, because it's going to be a hell of a ride, and it is not the end yet. So this has been a Taylor's Tales podcast. This has been Chris's Corner. I've been your host, Chris Taylor. And once again, thank you, George Taylor, for joining me today.
Peace and love.
Peace.